If you have a problem with interracial relationships in the year of our Lord 2025, you, my friend, are the actual problem. You are holding us back and you are regressive in your mentality. Now, unfortunately, most people, especially in this country, have had a short-sighted view of history. It's like we see American history as there was a time of slavery and segregation, and then there's a time of no slavery and integration, right? And that's all that existed. In reality, there were eons, thousands upon thousands of years of human history where people were intermingling, and it was not on the basis of race, but instead of culture, of tribal affiliation, of customs, etc. You might find another tribe that you resonate with and you intermingle, who has something that you desire and you intermingle. Or you may find that you clash because of your beliefs, because of your customs, because of the way in which you view the world. That's been happening throughout human history. Slavery was not created in the 1500s. It has been there for eon, for millennia, foreverdom, okay? So let's park that to the side. I really want to get to this conversation of, this weak argument of interracial dating is a byproduct of self-hatred, right? That's the racist's mentality about it. And mind you, if you're black, you too can be racist. Just because we say black people can't be racist doesn't take away the fact that you can be racist and black at the same time, right? Just because you justify it doesn't take away what it actually is. It's like if you stole something, you can say, well, it wasn't stealing, it was borrowing, but you still stole it. It doesn't change the reality. You're still doing exactly that. No, I'm borrowing. It's different. When he does it, it's stealing. But when I do it, it's not stealing. It is just merely borrowing it forever. No, that's not how that works. So racism can work in every dimension, no matter what your critical race theory professor taught you. That's the reality. And when you have a racist worldview, you view yourself as unable to mix and intermingle with another. And so if that does happen, you may view it as being unnatural. You may view it as being problematic. You want to keep a racial separatist sort of mentality, which again is a predominantly new idea and is being pushed by race hustlers and white liberals all the same. But that idea is a new idea. I'm not saying new as far as it's only been around for a few years, like we say new, or a few months or whatever it is, like the common trends. I'm talking about a few hundred years, like the advent of race and race being used as classification is not an ancient part of our history. It is new. It is a modern advent. And so when you go on the basis of that, you're going off of something that was created in modern history. People have been mixing and intermingling forever. Our ancestors were swirling way back in the day. I'm not talking about slavery, Jim Crow. I'm talking about prehistoric times, okay? I'm talking about as early as the human species came to consciousness, came to being, however that happened. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know exactly how it happened. I could have my own opinion. You have your own, right? But as long as we've been here, we've been mixing and intermingling. We've been sharing cultures. There was no such thing as cultural appropriation because Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and the rest of the bunch, they weren't around to grift and to make a profit off of race grievances. So back then, it was just shared cultures. These people had this that was going to be an addition to our people. These other people had that was going to be an addition to these people. And so they intermingled. And so when it comes to this conversation of, it's self-hatred, one of the things I always hear, well, your mama's black, you must hate your mama. First and foremost, as a man, hopefully I have gotten to a place where I've resolved my internal conflicts, my traumas, my issues to a point where I'm not trying to look for my mom in a relationship. Hopefully I'm not looking for my mother. Now, again, if my mother represented good qualities, then that's all that matters. But her ethnocentrism, her race, should not be in the equation of who I'm choosing as my life partner, my spouse, my wifey. If my mother had decent, or I'll not say decent, I guess I would say upright values, if she valued God, family, she had a high level of integrity, honesty, etc., and these are the things that I saw my mother representing, then I should be looking for those qualities, which have nothing to do with the external markers such as identity, or what we even call identity, which is the most shallow, which is literally your complexion, your pigmentation, right? Again, if we're talking culture, because y'all want to talk culture, your culture is what you value. What's your value systems? If your culture, well, I mean, it's black culture and white culture. So it's the shows that you grew up watching. Is that what we're basing on? Oh, we like the same shows. That's not going to keep a marriage together. That's not going to promise a healthy, sustainable. Do you know how many people come from the same quote unquote culture that have the most dysfunctional relationships? Dysfunctional relationships. 70% unwedded. 70 to 75% single mother households. But yet y'all share the same quote unquote culture. That culture obviously is not working. It's not upholding the necessary components to keep together a healthy and functional relationship. Again, we don't like to have these conversations because they point to ourselves. We have to introspect, but it's the truth. So if I find somebody who shares my values, somebody who shares my perspective on life, then I found my people. I found my person. Wifey, you do not have to have the same level of melanin for me to be able to resonate with you. Again, that's the superficial aspect that we have been indoctrinated or programmed into, and we need to break free from that. And again, I'm not telling you, oh, you got to go date outside your race, but the fact that this conversation is still being had where people are gatekeeping, they're forcing others within their own melanin, within their own level of melanin or lack thereof, you're still trying to force somebody not to step outside of your ethnocentric background. It is remedial. It is actually remedial. You're slow if you're one of those types of individuals. You're trying to control somebody else's life. So your cousin finds the love of her life, right? The love of her life. And he is a white man and you're a black family, quote unquote. You don't want her to get with the love of her life because he doesn't look the way that you think he should look. That's how that actually looks in reality, right? That's what we're talking about here. Well, okay, she might be a good woman, but she doesn't look like your mother. What? What? The reason you should not be brought into holy matrimony, into union under God with this woman who reflects your value system, who is a solid, honest, loyal, faithful individual, you should not be joined to her because she's white, Hispanic, Asian, black. That's why I said, if you have this worldview, you're actually the problem. And it's, again, there's going to be so much defensiveness from those who defend this stance, right? The Umar Johnsons of the world. Because I've seen the conversation in both men and women, and unfortunately, it's more often than not black men and black women. We love to point the finger to say the white man is the one who doesn't want this, but I have seen far more acceptance within the white community in the year of our Lord 2025 than I have within folks who look just like me. When I've gone through certain environments as a black man with a woman who looked nothing like me, the eyeballs, the attention, the negative slander that I received, the backlash was coming from people who look just like me. We have to get over this if we're going to move forward, folks. It's like there's some folks who won't even listen to somebody who doesn't look like them. And so you can't get put on game in order to move your life forward, to do things that are actually going to change your situation. That person may have valuable wisdom that will change your life for the better, but you're so fixated on these regressive ideas. You're so fixated on this false sense of an identity. Like so many black folks call themselves Christian. Oh, we are under God. Like God, I'm under submission of God, and God is the one who created everybody. And yet you have a mentality of they're not us. The only people I say they're not like us are the ones who are for the dysfunction, the toxicity, the chaos, etc. You look just like me and you toxic. You're chaotic, you're problematic, you're a criminal in your nature, you're 304 in your nature. I don't want to deal with you. You're not my people. I do not claim you. Simple as that for me. Simple as that. Who is my people? My people is the one I resonate with on a value system, not on these false markers of quote unquote identity that if you went back to Africa, they wouldn't give a damn about. Everybody's got the same melanin. Everybody's darker, darkest. You understand? And they're not viewing each other off the basis of that. Who are you? What family are you from? What tribe are you a part of? What is your dialect? Who are your people? Who was your grandfather? What is your totem? These are the things that are being looked at. What do you represent? What do you stand for? Who do you believe in? Who is your God? Who do you call upon? Those are the things that are uniting or separating the people. And it's only here that we have this damn mentality. And I know it's been programmed and it's been baked in, but we're doing the work to decouple it. And yet some people are doing the work to bring it back. That's why I speak so loudly about the subject of race. I wish we didn't have to talk about it. I only bring it up because we need to let it go, right? And you have to unpack and process these things. It's okay. You know, I had a lady in my IG message. She said, well, this actually shows me that maybe I do need to be dating outside of my race because y'all black men, boo, 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 boo. And I said, and she thought she was going to get a response. You know, you don't know who you're dealing with. You don't know who you're dealing with. I said to her, yes. I said, yes, absolutely. I said, it should have never been a problem. And mind you, this was a what they call high yellow woman. So it's like at least grandpa, somebody was already mixed in. Obviously, like evidently mixed in. So again, even if that wasn't the case, you could be a deep, deep, deep dark chocolate sister and still love who you love who loves you. That's my mentality. Mess with who messes with you. If the people who look like you don't mess with you, they think you're corny, they think you're nerdy, or they think you're goofy, they think you're this. You might just find that people look nothing like you, the ones who are accepting you. Love who loves you. Don't try to get the acceptance and the validation of people who could give a damn about you when it actually matters. It's only when it's convenient. My people, my people. They want to play that my people card when they want something from you or they, you know what I mean? They're trying to create an affinity and a connection to you based off of the most superficial aspect of self when they want something. But as soon as they see you have a different mindset, you have a different way of being, a different value system, now you're an op. Now you're an outsider. Now you're not like them. Now you're not one of them. It's so damn hypocritical. It is hypocritical in nature because, again, it's founded in a non-reality. Reality is that we are the human race. We're all different shapes, sizes, this, that, and the third. We all got different features. You know, we like to claim things when it's, again, it serves our agenda. Oh, see, those are black features. But then you also want to say those people aren't like you. Oh, they came from us. We're the original person. Okay, so if you're the original people, then those are your children. Those are your people. You know what I mean? Those are your people. All people are your people then, technically speaking. If all people came from, you know, the original man in Africa was a black man, okay, if that's the case, if that's the historic truth, then why would you not be accepting every single subsect of people? And instead perpetuating this played out, divisive, and short-sighted, again, I call it remedial. I call it slowness of the mental processing faculties. Mental retardation is the best articulated word I can use for this. To say that this is supposed to matter most. That's why MLK made it a point to say, not your color, but your character. I don't want to stand next to somebody who shares my color, but not my character. If you are a criminal, if you are dysfunctional, and I've done the work to get out of dysfunction, I'm not going to associate with you off the basis of this. I will associate with you off the basis of this and this.
I used to be afraid of the dark, place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. see you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.